First of all, congratulations on being the Calhoun's High School Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the beginning. I mean, you know, a lot of kids start off doing baseball and football and basketball, which are more mainstream sports. How long have you been wrestling, and how'd you get involved?
I've been wrestling since I was 5 years old, and I started off with my dad. He wanted me to get exposed to a lot of different sports that he played, and I played baseball and football and wrestling, and then I found out wrestling was my favorite sport, and it was one I was pretty good at.
Now, what was it about wrestling that kind of drew you in? What was it about it that was special for you?
It's one of the only it's a team sport, but at the same time it's an individual sport. In football and baseball, if somebody messes up, then the whole team gets let down. But if you want to win the match or be a state champion or do whatever you want to do in wrestling, you control the outcome.
Now, when did you say you started wrestling?
When I was 5.
5 years old. Now, who did you wrestle with, Dad?
They have a youth program.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned. Now, you were in Chattanooga at that time, or where were you when you started?
I was here. I started here at William Blount.
Okay. And then you ended up going to school in Chattanooga for a while to McCauley, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you wrestle there?
Yes, sir. I wrestled heavyweight my 8th grade year, and I placed 5th in the state. And I wrestled 215 my freshman year and placed 3rd in the state.
Wow. So your dad then gets the job at William Blount, and he kind of put the call out, I guess, and said, "Come help me."
Yes, sir.
Now, from what I understand, you're the Prepxtra Wrestler of the Year, which is a great honor for you. From what I understand, part of why your dad wanted you to come not only was to wrestle for him, but to maybe kind of be somebody he could count on to help demonstrate and coach. Have you enjoyed that part of it?
Yes, sir. It makes me feel good that I know whenever I'm gone the things I've showed some of the other wrestlers and my friends, that I know that they'll keep it going whenever I'm gone.
Have they elevated the program here at William Blount over the past few years? Do you feel like it's in a lot better shape than when you first got here?
Yes, sir. I think before I got here it was kind of on the downhill where it's always been at the top, but there for a couple of years it had been on the downhill a little bit. But then once my dad come in and started picking it back up and brought me back, everything started picking back up to where it used to be.
Now, you wrestled for your dad, which is got to be kind of interesting for you. Give the folks out there kind of the pros and cons of having Dad as a coach.
I mean, good things is you always know when the tournaments are, or what weight you're going to be, and if you have any questions, you can always ask him when you get back home. And some of the bad things is if you're in there and something's not going right, and when you're a captain too, you kind of get the heat of that, and then when you get home you get the heat of it sometimes too.
Yeah, I could imagine you probably do. Now let's walk through the state. You're the state champion in 220. Kind of talk about your draw, and when you found out who you're going to be wrestling, were you pretty pleased with the draw, or does it really matter to you? Do you just wait to see who shows up and take them one at a time?
I just take them one at a time. I mean, you can't control who's going to be out there to wrestle you, but so you just got to go out there and be ready for whatever comes at you.
Now, as it turned out, your semifinal match was against a pretty highly regarded opponent. Kind of tell me about that match a little bit.
It was definitely the toughest match of the tournament, but I felt good. I knew he was a good wrestler. I knew what he was going to do, but I knew, and there wasn't any doubt in my mind that I could beat him, because I could see he was scared. He's an underclassman, and he'd never been there before where I'd been there numerous times, and I just knew that he was scared, and I knew what I had to do. And
did you reflect back a little bit? Maybe were you a little scared the first time you got out in a state situation like that?
I was a little bit. I know my freshman year I made it to the semis, and I ended up getting beat, and I was a little nervous because I knew, one more match and you're in the state finals, and it's just kind of nerve-wracking feeling.
I bet it is. Now you get past him, and you got one match to go to achieve a goal. I mean, you talked about being 5th at one point, and I think you finished your or last year you were. What did you finish last year? Like 3rd or 2nd? So you know you're so close. Was it hard to focus after beating the better guy to know who you had coming up?
No, I knew that I had my state. I didn't know for sure, but I knew that the kid I was wrestling, that there's no doubt in my mind I could beat him.
And you did. and you're state champion. What's it feel like when you're sitting out there and that clock's counting down and you're feeling pretty good that it's yours?
It's just, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. I mean, you know, you still have to keep wrestling because anything can happen in those 3 seconds. But just knowing that you're a state champion and all your hard work's been put to good use, and now you know that you're a state champion.
Got to feel pretty good that Dad's proud too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it was. Now, what about coming up for college? What are you thinking about?
I'm gonna wrestle in college, either at King or Newberry College.
So you kind of got a little recruiting thing going on. You haven't decided where you're going yet.
Not yet.
That's great. Well, congratulations on a state championship and best of luck in the future.